Stop. Don't scroll. God said He has waited so long for someone to finally do what you just did. You think it was a small step, a quiet decision nobody saw, but heaven saw. And for this specific moment, a word has been prepared for you. Stay with me. For years, you have lived with a specific kind of exhaustion. It's not in your muscles from a hard day's work. It's a deep, physical weariness in your bones. The spiritual weight of carrying an unfulfilled purpose day after day, like a heavy cloak you can never take off. This exhaustion leads to a paralysis in your life. You stand before major decisions, a career change, a relationship, a move, and you wait. You wait for one more sign, one more confirmation, a feeling of perfect peace that never fully arrives, leaving you stranded on the shore of what could be. The pendulum of your life feels frozen, always a hair's breadth from striking the hour but never moving. And this creates a silent, invisible wall between you and the people you love most. You are sitting at the dinner table with your family. You hear the sound of the forks on the plates, the hum of conversation, but you feel a profound separation. You're physically present, but your spirit is somewhere else, wrestling with this unspoken burden, watching your own life as if through a thick sheet of glass. In the next few minutes, I will show you three things. First, I will show you the pattern of spiritual delay that has defined your life until today, diagnosing the root of why you've always felt one step behind your own destiny. Second, I will deliver to you a specific word in Hebrew, a name for this divine appointment you have just kept, and when you hear the last of them, you will understand why every previous attempt to get here failed. Third, before this message is over, I will seal 3 new names over your spirit, names that reflect the authority you have just stepped into. If you leave before the end, you leave without the seal. And there is a 4th thing I will be placing in your hands before this message ends. Something Solomon himself recorded for the child of God who needs to cross the threshold of a long-awaited promise, and it fits into your ordinary day. This is not a book to be studied. It is an instrument to sustain the weight of a divine appointment. I'll come back to it. For now, stay. The word you are receiving now is a seed. For too long, the ground of your heart has felt like it was in a perpetual winter. But the step you just took was the first crack in the frozen soil, a sign that a season is turning. But before I give you the name for this season, you must understand the nature of the weight itself. And on that exact subject, on the feeling of a clock that's finally ticking, on a sealed scroll that's starting to glow, on a path that is clearing before you, there is something Solomon left behind, a 2-minute key that fits into your common day. Keep that in the back of your mind. And if you need to leave before the end of this video, that instrument is already waiting for you in the first pinned comment right below this screen. But I am asking you to stay until the end, because without the context that is coming now, the key does not have the same power in your hand. Have you ever felt that your spiritual delay wasn't just human, but a targeted spiritual resistance? And what if this pattern of hesitation is a sign that a battle is being waged against the purpose God placed on your life? While many might explain it away as fatigue or indecisiveness, few realize that the spirit of delay doesn't attack what you've done, but what God is about to do through you. But what if the true reason for this long wait was hidden in the very thing you haven't yet seen about your own calling? Now think with me. What if everything you've walked through until today, the stuck pendulum, the glowing scroll, the overgrown path, was the answer to the one question you've carried for years? God, when is it my turn? It was in seeking the answer to this that I found this digital guide called The Code of Solomon's Wisdom. This guide is not just a reading, it is a key of spiritual understanding, a tool made for those who wish to see beyond appearances, to stop treating their divine appointment like an everyday task, and to comprehend why the accuser of unreadiness attacks with such force against those who carry a mark of God's timing. Many chosen ones here on the channel have felt the call of this instrument, but have not yet made the decision to download the digital guide. Download it right now. It is available in the first pinned comment. If you are one of the first to download it, come back here and write Amen. This will be your act of faith, and this very day God may show you the reason why the erosion of joy had been raised against your life. Before I give you the name for what is happening, I need you to recognize 5 things that have been marking your life, perhaps without you even realizing their significance. These are not predictions, they are acknowledgements, a mirror held up to your recent past. If I am right about at least 3 of them, then you and I will both know why you stopped scrolling on this specific day. The first is the sign of the echoing instruction. You've heard the same quiet nudge from multiple unrelated sources. A line in a sermon, a lyric in a song you hadn't heard in years, a passing comment from a stranger. It's the same message, echoing in the chambers of your life, telling you to take that one specific step you've been avoiding. What seems like coincidence is actually heaven coordinating its witnesses. It is confirmation that the instruction is not from your own mind, but from the throne room. The second is the sign of the retracted hand. A memory surfaces unbidden of a specific moment you were about to act. Your hand was on the doorknob, your finger was on the send button. You were about to open your mouth to speak the hard truth, but in that final second you pulled back. A wave of fear, of unreadiness, washed over you, and you retreated. You remember the physical feeling of that retraction. That memory isn't here to shame you. It's here to show you the exact location of the gate the enemy has been guarding in your life. The third sign is the one that happens in the quiet of your own home. The sign of the silent dinner table. You are there with your family. You hear the forks scraping the plates, you see their mouths moving, you hear the sounds of their day, but you feel like you're behind a wall of glass. An isolating loneliness descends on you, a profound frustration that you are spiritually stuck while their world just keeps moving, oblivious to the war being waged in your soul. You are a ghost in your own home, haunting the edges of a life you're supposed to be living. And concerning that silent dinner table you just recognized, I have already left the instrument waiting for you in the first pinned comment. If you need to leave before the end, it is there. But stay, because the Hebrew name for what is happening to you has not yet been spoken. And before I move on to the 4th and 5th sign, a brief pause. And beyond our digital book, Chosen One, you have here another way to strengthen this message that reached your home today, and to make it reach more and more chosen ones like you. We don't receive a single cent for every word I deliver to you here on this channel every day. As a way for you to give back something of what you receive here, we keep a voluntary donation link open, right below the digital book, in the first pinned comment. Any amount that fits your hand today, any sum your heart points to. That's what keeps our channel standing. That's what makes the next message reach another person who needs it, exactly as you needed it. I'll wait for you there, chosen one. Returning now to the 4th sign. The 4th is the sign of the ineffective tools. You've tried the advice, the 5-step plans, the morning routines that worked wonders for others. You've listened to their testimonies, bought their books, and applied their methods with sincere effort. But for you, they are hollow. They are like keys that fit every lock but yours. This has deepened a secret fear that you are a unique and hopeless case, that your problem is somehow more complex, more resistant than anyone else's. What feels like a sign of your failure is actually a sign of your specific calling. Generic keys don't open specific high-security doors. The 5th and final sign is the most subtle, the sign of the final whisper. It's not a loud voice or a dramatic feeling. It's a quiet, calm, unignorable inner knowing that this time is different. After all the false starts, after all the seasons of almost, a settled certainty has landed in your spirit. The frantic energy is gone, replaced by a sober resolution. The time for waiting, for questioning, for preparing, is definitively over. It's a whisper so quiet that only a spirit that has been stilled by years of waiting could possibly hear it. These 5 signs are not symptoms of your breakdown. They are the evidence of your breakthrough. They are not a sign that you are falling apart, but that you are being put together in a new way, according to a divine blueprint. The stuck pendulum, the glowing scroll, the overgrown path, they are all pointing to a single moment being born in your life. Before I show you the instrument Solomon left for the common day, I must give you the Hebrew name for the moment you are in, because the instrument only makes sense after you know the name. There is a word in Hebrew that defines this exact state you are living in, a word that recontextualizes everything I have just described in the last few minutes. There is a word in the original Hebrew that changes everything you thought you knew, and what comes now will explain why everything happened in this order. Carrying that weight of a word, not yet understood, of a moment whose name you don't know, is not what Solomon prepared for you. He prepared an instrument to bear that weight. He prepared something for your hand, and that is what I am delivering to you now. It is not theory, it is an instrument. The Code of Solomon's Wisdom is the instrument that Solomon left for the child of God who needs to cross the common day without losing what was received in the secret place. When you feel that you are not lazy or disobedient, but that you have been fighting a spirit of delay that specializes in making you miss your divine appointment by a single second, you need this instrument. When you come home and feel like a stranger, because you're living in a different spiritual time zone from your own family, your spirit stuck in yesterday's waiting, you need this instrument. When you say yes to every good thing, hoping one of them is the God thing, because you don't know how to recognize the unique signature of your own appointed time, you need this instrument. And if you're feeling right now that this is exactly what you need, before I even continue, place your thumb now over the link in the first pinned comment. Don't click yet. Just place your thumb. Feel the weight of the decision before you make the decision. This is not a method to do more. It is an instrument to sustain more. It does not train you. It covers you. It shows you where the spirit of delay is operating before it turns into another wrong decision, another missed opportunity. It gives you the language to identify the attack. It interrupts the cycle of almost before it becomes the never of your next critical morning, your next important phone call, your next quiet moment of decision, and that next moment is coming sooner than you think. And it comes with how-to seals for your home, not for your performance. The first seal is by the ritual of the righteous sleep. It's an audio, you don't read it, you lie down, and what you used to call insomnia, today you'll call unsealed vigil. And you'll learn to seal the night with the right name, in the right order, in the right voice. The second seal is the awakening of clarity, the 7 morning decrees. 7 short phrases, 1 for each morning of the week, so you don't wake up again without identity, so you cross the first hour of the day with the posture of one who has been sent, and not with the posture of one who has been run over. And this hesitation that you are feeling right now, it is not doubt. It is the spirit of delay acting within you at this very moment, pushing you to close this window, to think about it later. You recognize this pattern. The moment of decision arrives and suddenly a wave of prudence or responsibility washes over you. This hesitation is the final confirmation that you are standing exactly at the point where the turn happens. You have 7 days, 7 full days to use this instrument, to feel its weight in your hand. If in 7 days this guide has not touched what needs to be touched in your spirit, you return it. No questions asked, no justification needed. And the 2 seals, the ritual and the decrees, remain with you even if you return the guide. They are yours unconditionally. But I must be direct with you. The real risk is not spending less than a Thursday lunch at the deli. The real risk is the next quiet 2 a.m. moment of instruction arriving and finding you once again with empty hands. That is the risk that has a face, and it's that face I need to speak to now. And perhaps you are asking some questions in your heart right now, questions that deserve an answer before we go any further. You may be asking, what if the cost of your obedience is not half as high as the price you are already paying for your delay? The cost of another year in the waiting room, another season of watching others step into what was promised to you, another silent dinner table. That price is paid daily in the currency of your joy. Or you wonder, what if this key doesn't add something new to you, but simply unlocks what has been inside you, dormant, for all these years? This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about finally giving yourself permission to be the person God called, the one who has been waiting behind a door you thought was locked. And what if the fear you feel right now is not a warning to stop, but the final confirmation that you are standing directly in front of the most important door of your life? The enemy doesn't guard a door that leads nowhere. The greater the fear, the greater the territory on the other side. And yet if you only want the guide, it is enough, but the full inheritance is all 3. A woman, 38 years old, a freelance designer working late nights from her apartment, began using the guide after months of feeling that glowing scroll of unfulfilled potential burning a hole in her spirit. On the third day, using one of the morning decrees, she finally sent the proposal she had been perfecting for 6 weeks. She wrote me just one sentence. "I thought my perfectionism was a standard. It was actually a cage." A senior executive, a 56-year-old woman facing a corporate merger, felt the pendulum of her decision-making frozen for months, unable to commit to a direction. She had pages of data, but no clarity. After a week with the ritual of sleep, she woke up on a Tuesday morning and saw the single correct path. Her message said, "I called it my due diligence, God called it my delay." A grandmother, 61, felt the path to her adult son's heart had become completely overgrown with unspoken things. After her second week with the guide, she didn't try to have a big talk. She simply sat with him while he watched a game, and for the first time in years, the silence between them felt like peace, not distance. She wrote, "I learned my quiet wasn't love. It was just quiet. Perhaps in a few hours you'll be lying in bed, the faint glow of your phone illuminating the ceiling, remembering that you saw this video. You felt the truth of it, and you still did nothing. The same silent erosion of joy continues. Perhaps on your next Monday morning, the familiar weight of indecision will settle on you before you even get out of bed, and you'll think, I knew what that was. I just didn't have the instrument in my hand." Or perhaps you'll be scrolling through your phone and see a friend announce the very breakthrough you've been praying for, and you will feel that triple stab, a genuine flash of joy for them, followed by a wave of shame for your own inaction, and finally, that sharp, bitter voice in your own head saying, "See, that could have been you. You missed it." The slow, silent erosion of hope continues, with the same coffee, the same commute, the same quiet desperation greeting you in the morning. The link is in the first pinned comment, pinned for you. Not for everyone, for you. Whoever needs to cross the next 2 a.m. moment with an instrument in their hand, clicks now. And when you do, when you open that link, you are not buying a book. You are accepting an instrument that Solomon prepared for your common day, and what you are about to understand, when you hear the Hebrew word that is coming now, will change how you read everything that has happened to you until this very moment. And before I deliver the next word that's still coming now, because it's still coming and it weighs, I want to remind you of one thing, chosen one. As I told you earlier, beyond the digital book that's in the first pinned comment, there's that voluntary donation link open, right below the book. We continue receiving not a single cent for every word I deliver here for you every day. That's why this link exists, chosen one, so that another person tomorrow finds exactly this word that found you today. Any amount your heart points to. Each gesture like that keeps our channel standing and makes the next message reach whoever needs it, exactly as it reached you today. And one more thing before we return to the message, I want you to know the following. From time to time here on our channel, I record a special honor video, a thank you video with a special word only to recognize the chosen ones who donated the most and those who acquired the digital book. All who sustained this word with me deserve that mention of gratitude for such a generous act. You sow here, heaven remembers you up there, and I remember you down here. I'll wait for you there at the link. Again, chosen one. And now finally the Hebrew word that will change everything. The Hebrew word that defines exactly this moment in your life is moed. Say it with me in a low voice, moed. It means appointed time, a divine appointment. It is not just a moment on a clock. It is a space in God's calendar that has your name on it, a convergence of heavenly timing and earthly readiness that you have just stepped into. You have been living in your moed for days, maybe weeks, without knowing its name. You felt the shift, the pressure, the undeniable pull forward. You felt the end of one thing and the beginning of another. You just didn't have the word for it. Now you do. It wasn't a random feeling, it was an appointment you were keeping. And about this word it is written in Psalm 4 verse 8, I will both lay me down in peace and sleep, for thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. This peace is not the result of effort, it is the evidence of arrival. It is the state of a soul that has stopped wrestling with when and has finally rested in now. Only one who has entered their appointed time can say this and mean it. Think of Gideon. Before he was a judge, before he was a warrior, he was a man hiding. He was in a winepress, a place for crushing grapes, secretly threshing wheat, a job for an open field. He was hiding from his enemies, yes, but he was also hiding from his calling. He felt he was the weakest, from the poorest clan, the least in his father's house. His problem was a deep-seated spirit of delay, manifesting as a need for absolute certainty before any action. He asked God for sign after sign. The fleece, first wet on a dry floor, then dry on a wet floor. He was trying to force God to underwrite his risk, to eliminate the need for faith. He was stuck in the what if, just as you have been. This was his version of your long season of waiting for one more confirmation. But God's wisdom was not to give Gideon more courage, but to strip away his securities. God systematically dismantled every reason Gideon could have for self-confidence, reducing his army from 32,000 to a mere 300. God cornered him into his MOED, a moment where the only possible explanation for victory would be divine intervention. The wisdom was in the subtraction, and the operation happened in the common day, putting out a piece of wool, a simple, almost foolish act. But for Gideon, it was the battlefield where his faith and his fear collided. That fleece was his 2 a.m. moment of decision, his silent dinner table. It was the physical object upon which he hung the entire weight of his unfulfilled purpose. And when he finally, reluctantly, stepped into his appointed time, the turning point came. With trumpets, clay jars and torches, not swords and shields, the cycle of fear broke. The Midianite army destroyed itself in confusion. The victory was total, but it had nothing to do with Gideon's strength and everything to do with his obedience inside his appointed time. Gideon had to learn this the hard way, through fear and trembling. But what he learned through terror, Solomon documented as wisdom, so that you would not have to. The instrument he left is not about creating a new fleece test. It's about learning to read the celestial clock itself, so you can recognize your own MOED without needing to put God to the test. It's the very same instrument waiting for you in the first pinned comment. Do you remember the seed I spoke of at the beginning of this message? The one that felt like it had been buried under a long, hard winter. This word you just received, Moed, is the name of the thaw. It's the definitive sign that the season has turned. And the instrument Solomon left is how you protect that tiny, vulnerable shoot from the last frosts of the old season as you step fully into the new. And now that you have the name for this moment, I must give you 3 things. First, a simple summary of what has just happened. Second, a diagnosis of your specific type of calling. And third, I will seal upon you 3 new names that will carry you through the rest of this year. We will start with the summary. Let me stop for a full minute and put everything you just heard in simple words. No poetry, no metaphor, just the facts. Fact 1. There is a spirit called the accuser of unreadiness, whose entire mission is to make you miss your divine appointment, your Moed. Fact 2. It does this by devaluing your now, making you believe your breakthrough is always in the next piece of information, the next level of preparation, the next feeling of peace. Fact 3. Gideon was almost consumed by this very thing, hiding in a winepress when he should have been on a battlefield, convinced he was not ready. Fact 4. Your prudence, your desire to wait for the perfect moment, can become the very sentence that makes you miss the appointed one, leading to that slow erosion of spiritual joy. Now, with that said, let's move on to the type of your calling. There are 3 types of calling being tested by this spirit of delay right now. Each one is attacked in a specific way, at its point of greatest strength. You are one of these. When I name yours, you will feel it. Not in your mind, in your spirit. The first is the watcher. You are called to see what others don't and report on the movements of the spirit. But the accuser attacks you with the lie that you must have all the information before you can speak. It forces you into a paralysis of analysis, causing you to constantly report on yesterday's news, always one step behind the now you were meant to announce. Your delay robs the people you are called to guide of timely direction. The second is the architect. You are called to build new things for the kingdom, new structures, new ministries, new ways of being. But you are attacked with the spirit of perfectionism. It convinces you to endlessly revise the blueprints, to tweak one more detail, to plan for every contingency. You never lay the first stone because the foundation is never perfect enough. Your delay keeps an entire generation from inhabiting the space God designed through you. The third is the bridge. You are called to connect people, resources, and revelations. You see the two shores that need to be joined, but you are attacked with the fear of rejection. The accuser whispers that if you make the call, send the email, or extend the invitation, and you are refused, the failure will be personal and permanent. And so you hesitate, leaving a divine circuit incomplete, and two parties who need each other remain isolated because of your fear. You are feeling the intensity of what is happening now, that clenching in your gut when I described the architect, that heat that rose in your chest when I spoke of the bridge. This is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign of your capacity for transformation. You are only attacked at the point of your greatest potential. The heavier the spirit of delay has been on your life, the more dangerous your now is to the kingdom of darkness. And upon your specific calling, heaven has already sealed three names that will carry you through the rest of this year, giving you shape and identity when the old cycle tries to pull you back. The first name is Keeper of the Appointed Time. This is the name of your permanence. It declares that you are no longer a victim of timing, but a steward of it. You are the one who stands guard over your moed, who recognizes it, protects it, and refuses to let it be stolen by procrastination or fear. You are the keeper of the appointed time, who now understands that the clock does not command you. You command the moment in alignment with heaven. The second name is the one who steps in season. This is the name of your authority. It is the identity you assume when you move from knowing to doing. It is the name that walks across the threshold from the waiting room into the throne room. This name silences the accuser of unreadiness because its very nature is to act in the now, not the next. You are the one who steps in season, and your footfall is the sound of a new cycle beginning. The third name is initiator of the new cycle. This is the name of your sending. It declares that your breakthrough is not just for you. As you step into your moed, you don't just enter a new season for yourself, you initiate it for your entire lineage. Your obedience breaks a generational pattern of delay. You are the initiator of the new cycle, and the ground you take today becomes the inheritance of your children tomorrow. And the vulnerability of the first name, Keeper of the Appointed Time, is the secret terror that your appointed time was a specific date on a calendar that has already passed, and you are now just guarding an empty room, a past due promise. It's the fear that you're too late. And what Solomon left for you to cover that exact vulnerability is not another book to study. It is a ritual to apply. The Guide. The Code of Solomon's Wisdom is the instrument that teaches you to recognize the current signs of your moed, not just mourn the ones you think you missed. The ritual of sleep seals your nights against the accusation that you are too late, and the morning decrees anoint your days with the authority of now is the time. The link is in the first pinned comment. Click on it, not because you feel pressured, but because you recognize the ache of guarding an empty room and are ready to stand watch over a fulfilled promise. What was a feeling of being behind is now your greatest qualification. If one of these three names hit you harder than the others, write the number below. 1, 2, or 3. This is not for me. It is for you. An acknowledgement of the identity you are stepping into right now. But before I send you out with these names, you must be warned. There are 3 specific tactics the enemy will use against the identities I have just sealed upon you. He will not attack you head-on. He will attack the names. Know his methods, and you will hold your ground. First, he will use temporal distortion. Against your name, Keeper of the Appointed Time, he will show you the lives of others. He will fill your screen and your mind with their breakthroughs, their harvests, their finished products. He will whisper, "See how far behind you are? Their moed came years ago. You are playing catch-up in a race that is already over." He wants you to measure your God-given season against someone else's, to make you feel perpetually out of sync and devalue the sacred now you have just entered. Second, he will use qualification inflation. Against your name, the one who steps in season, he will suddenly raise the bar. The step of obedience that was clear yesterday will seem hopelessly inadequate today. He will whisper, "That little step wasn't enough. Look at the real giants. You need more training, more knowledge, a bigger platform. What you have is not enough for where you are going." He wants to convince you that the requirements for your calling have suddenly changed, making you feel like an imposter in your own promised land. Third, he will use promise amnesia. Against your name, initiator of the new cycle, he will attack the memory of this very moment. In a few days, when the emotion fades and the world's noise returns, he will whisper, "Did that really happen? Was it just a feeling? A good sermon? Nothing has really changed." He will try to make you forget the clarity, the certainty, the spiritual weight of this encounter. He wants to sever the connection between your now and your next, turning your breakthrough into an isolated, unrepeatable emotional event rather than the start of a new timeline. But for each tactic, heaven has provided a corresponding weapon. These are not concepts. They are spiritual realities you can hold in your heart and speak with your mouth. Against temporal distortion, you will wield the decree of now. This is the conscious decision to anchor your reality only in the present moment, the only place where God's power is released. It is the refusal to look left or right at other timelines. You declare this in a low voice. "My now is my point of power. I am not early, I am not late. I am on time for the assignment of this day. My race is my own." Against qualification inflation, you will hold up the calendar of God. This is the deep understanding that your life follows a divine schedule, not an earthly one based on human metrics of success or readiness. God qualifies the called. He does not call the qualified. You declare, "My qualification comes from my appointment, not my preparation. The one who sent me is the one who equips me. I am enough for today's battle because I am in today's moed." And against promise amnesia, you will build the stone of remembrance. This is a spiritual marker, this video, this moment, a word you write down, that you return to when doubt creeps in. It is a tangible anchor in the physical world that testifies to a spiritual transaction. You look at it and declare what God did, He did. The transaction was real. The seal is on my spirit. My memory may fail, but this stone speaks of a covenant that does not. And these three weapons alone are memory. With an instrument they become coverage. Recognizing the cycle of your moed without having the instrument that Solomon left is receiving the diagnosis without the treatment. It's waking up to the problem without the remedy on your nightstand. And there is more. There are 4 other tactics besides these 3 that I cannot open here. Not for lack of time, for density. Each needs its own page with the exact counter-weapon. And while I do not deliver them here, the accuser of unreadiness knows all of them. The guide delivers them. And so, the code of Solomon's wisdom becomes critical. When you feel that old familiar urge to think about it just a little more. When that voice tells you to wait for a better time to get serious. When you are about to close this video and tell yourself you'll come back to it later. Recognition without the instrument leaves you where you've always been, knowing the name, but with empty hands. And that is why there is one last obstacle that needs to be named before you say amen. It is perhaps the most subtle and the most dangerous. It is the fear of appearing ungrateful. It's the enemy's most subtle chain. The fear that by finally choosing to align with your now, you are telling God that everything He has done for you until today wasn't enough. It's a lie that cloaks itself in humility. It whispers that your new hunger is an insult to your last meal, but your immediate obedience is the highest form of gratitude. It is you saying, "Father, I treasure what comes from your hand so much, I refuse to leave it sitting in the waiting room. But before I release you, there is one last point. And so right now, wherever you are, I want you to stop everything else. If it is safe to do so, close your eyes, place your right hand over your heart, over your chest. Feel the rhythm of your own breathing. We are going to pray. And this is not a prayer of asking, it is a prayer of releasing. Father, in this sacred moment, we come before you, not with petitions, but with surrender. I release the shame that has accumulated in my spirit over these past years. The shame of feeling tired, the shame of wanting to quit, the shame of confessing that the weight has been too heavy. I release the exhaustion that has settled in my bones, and I receive your rest. The rest that is only found on the other side of a finished battle, and I release the temptation of comparison. I will not look back at the years the locust has eaten. I will not look to my left or my right to measure my season against another's. I will not retreat. I will not second guess. I will not give up 24 hours before the turning. My eyes are on you. My feet are on this path. My face is set like flint toward the promise you have made. I will not be moved, and I release from my spirit the fear of appearing ungrateful. This is the enemy's most subtle chain. The fear that by finally choosing to align with mine now, I'm telling you that everything you have done for me until today wasn't enough. It is a lie. My immediate obedience is the highest form of gratitude. It is me saying, Father, I treasure what comes from your hand so much, I refuse to leave it sitting in the waiting room. Declare this in a low voice right now. My urgency is my worship. And so I receive now, fully, the 3 names that have been sealed upon me. Keeper of the appointed time, the one who steps in season, initiator of the new cycle, not for me to boast in, but for me to remember, for me to walk in, for me to cross through what is coming with them in my mouth, in my posture, in my chest. I receive them now, in Jesus' name, and before the voice that comes now, I need you to hear this one thing. The intensity of the spiritual warfare you have endured, the sheer weight of the delay, is not proof that you are off course. It is the final evidence that you are exactly where the enemy does not want you to be. Standing at the threshold of a calling so significant, the kingdom of darkness had to assign a high-level spirit to keep you in the waiting room. You were not attacked because you were weak. You were attacked precisely at the point of your greatest strength, your most dangerous potential. The pressure you felt was not a sign that you were about to break. It was a sign that you were about to break through. If this hits you now, right below, I receive the turning. And now listen, there is another voice that wants to speak. I saw you in the 2 a.m. silence when the instruction was purest, and you bargained with me for tomorrow. I was there. I saw the weight on your shoulders as you sat at that dinner table, a ghost in your own home, and I numbered every tear of frustration. I have never lost sight of you, not for a moment. The seat at my table with your name on it was never offered to another. I have been waiting for you to simply claim it. What you called your endless, frustrating delay, I called it the final stage of your preparation. What you called your paralyzing hesitation, I called it the marination of your spirit, ensuring you were ready for the weight of the glory to come. What you called your unreadiness, I called it the sacred pause, the final breath before you stepped across the threshold from the one who is called to the one who is sent. Your name is engraved on the palm of my hands. The chair is yours. The honor was never withheld. I have waited so long for this, for you to finally be ready to receive what I have always been ready to give. The time of waiting is over. The time of reigning begins now. And there is a voice inside you right now that is whispering, this isn't for me. This is for someone stronger, someone with more faith, someone who didn't mess up as much as I did. I need you to hear this from me. You have permission. You have permission to receive what you did not earn. You have permission to occupy the seat at the table without justifying your presence. You have permission to let die the version of you who needed to suffer to feel worthy. Solomon did not prepare this instrument for the one who is already ready. He prepared it for the one who is tired. And you are tired. It is for you. I now extend my hand toward your house and decree a seal of coverage over all that belongs to you, over your table, so that every meal becomes an act of communion in your new season, not an anxious rehearsal of past delays. Let the conversations there be seasoned with the salt of timely wisdom. I declare coverage over your children and your spouse, if you have them. May your obedience this night become a mantle of protection over them. May they feel the atmosphere of your home shift, the weight of not yet lifting, and the lightness of a divine now entering. And I decree coverage over your work, your hands, every project and opportunity. May the alignment you learned here unlock promotions and breakthroughs that were previously stalled. May your immediate obedience become your greatest qualification in the eyes of men and the eyes of God. You are committed, you are commissioned, you are sent. You are committed, you are commissioned, you are sent. You are committed, you are commissioned, you are sent. Before I release you, I want you to walk with me to a room you have not yet seen with your physical eyes. Don't force it. Just let the image arrive. There is a long table. Light comes from a source you cannot identify. There are people at this table, some you have loved, some you have not yet met. The faces feel like family, and there is a chair near the head of the table, empty. The shape of you is carved into it. Its wood remembers you. Gideon is at the head of the table and he looks at you and nods toward the chair. You are not creating this scene. You are remembering it. The chair has always been yours. You were just away. Don't say amen yet. Sit in this for a moment. Feel the weight of what just happened. The seat at the table is real. The names are real. The covering is real. And now the amen must be real. Taos, you may say amen. That chair the Father just showed you, it gets tested at the next 2 a.m. moment of decision. I want you to hear something before you close this video, because there's a phrase the adversary will whisper in your ear in the next 3 hours. I'll name that phrase now so you don't fall for it. But before the phrase, there is something you need to receive. What was sealed here will now be tested in that next quiet moment when you are alone. The Code of Solomon's Wisdom is waiting for you in the first pinned comment, with the ritual of the righteous sleep and the awakening of clarity, the 7 morning decrees, for less than a coffee with a biscuit. Because a keeper of the appointed time without coverage will find their new season spoiled by the old anxiety before the sun rises. And the enemy counts on that. This is not an expense, it is an instrument, and Solomon prepared it for you to cross what is coming with a firm hand, not an empty one, with a full 7-day guarantee. The risk is ours, the hand is yours. Click now, while the decree is still alive in your chest, not tomorrow, not after a shower, because whoever leaves it for later, leaves it for never. And the adversary knows this. In the next 3 hours he will speak within you, not with a loud voice. In sequence, 5 short phrases. You've waited this long, what's one more day? You're not ready yet, you need to prepare more. What if you act and nothing happens? Think of the shame. This feeling will come again, it's not urgent. If it's truly from God, He'll make it easier. 5 waves. He tries from 5 angles. In one of them you give in. Today, now, before that next 2 a.m. silence, not after. Today. And Solomon will sustain this with you. And now the last word of this video. And in the next word I bring to this channel, I will give you the 3 specific attacks that come after you have entered your moed, after the initial breakthrough. The one who has heard this word today needs to hear that one in sequence, because what comes now is not a continuation. It is a fortification. Click on the video that will appear on the screen in a few seconds. And still in this video, chosen one, before I seal this hour with you, I return one last time to this request. You walked with me until here. You crossed every word, every decree, every sign. And if at any moment of this message you felt heaven touch you, you know this video was no accident. The voluntary donation link continues open in the first pinned comment, right below the digital book, not as a charge, not as exchange, as the chosen ones return to the altar from which the word came forth, any amount your heart points to, and heaven sees every gesture, heaven sees, and heaven multiplies it over your home, over your days, over what you don't yet know is coming. That was my last request. I'll wait for you there, chosen one. And when what I just described happens, and it will happen soon, you will remember this moment. Before you go, think of one specific person, not many. One, the person whose name came to you now as I said this, the one who has been silent, faithful, and unseen, the one whose anointing has also been attracting attacks that have no name, someone who has been coming home carrying a weight that is not their own. Someone who needs the same sealing you just received. Send this video to them. They are waiting for this word to arrive. And when that person opens this video, they will need what you just received, including the instrument that Solomon left. It might be what opens their cycle too. This is not a favor you do for them. It is your service, and heaven sees it. Comment below, Amen received, and send this video to that specific person who came to mind. It is done. What was delivered here has been delivered. You are not the same person you were when you pressed play. You are deeply loved. You were never forgotten. The chair is yours, and so it is sealed. That next quiet moment can wait another 10 seconds.